gonna pause the video, but I'm gonna start a new one in which we're gonna install the windshield. So the next time you see me, probably I'm gonna have the windshield on the car. Ta-da! Just like that, we have the windshield installed. But we're gonna show you that in one of the next episodes. Now we are back on the soft top, and the owner confirmed that we can use the existing webbing. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It was just faded, but we painted it. And one side is really nice. The other side is still a little bit faded, but we're gonna put this side up so it's not gonna be seen. All right, so in the bag with the old parts, I found these pins. That's where they go. This, as you can see, is not stitched perpendicular. It's a little bit on an angle because that's how it goes. If you put it the other way around, it's gonna be tight on one side and loose on the other. So that's how they need to be. But this is the faded side up. So we don't want this one here. I'm gonna put the other one here. Which now is gonna end up like that. That's even better because you're not gonna see this from inside. It's gonna stay between the top and the webbing itself. So it just goes through the slot. Okay, like that. And we're gonna put the pin inside. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. I'm gonna pull the pin tight, and we're gonna tighten the bolts. Go. All right, so what happens here now is we're a little bit short here and much shorter here in the front end. And I'm assuming that this webbing shrunk. We're gonna have to modify it a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna undo this stitch and we're gonna refold it in different location in order to gain some material, because normally the new webbing comes a little bit longer and you fasten it and then you cut it, but this one we're limited. I can always release here, lift it up a little bit and install it, but then it's gonna be way too tight and it's not gonna be possible to close the top, you know. So we have no choice but to modify this. That's it. Okay, perfect. Let's see how much we gained now. All right, so now here we are actually a little bit past these two holes, which is fine. Here we're almost there, but we don't want it installed like this. We want it installed like this, and the plate needs to go in between, you know what I mean? So let's do this one first. So we want to put this inside, flip it, and that's how we want it installed. So just maybe 1/4 inch in front of the existing holes. So now I can loosen the top, open it a little bit, and then we're gonna have room to install our rivets inside. Let's close it and see how tight it is gonna be. Nice and tight. That's what we want. We don't want it too tight though, because again, we don't want to have troubles with closing the top later. Now this bowl too, it can move back and forth. So we're gonna wait for when we have the top. This one doesn't move, so this one is where it is. So let's fasten this one as well. Okay, so this side is done. We're not gonna do the other two bows yet, like I said. So let me do the other one on my own, and we're gonna continue with the rest. All right, the other one is installed. We had the exact same issue. I had to loosen it a little bit here, and now I have just enough material. But you see, when you put the, what should I call that, a plate, when you put it this way, you have enough room for this to go under and stay there. Because the first time I installed a top, I believe in the only other video that I made about installing a top, I installed the plate on top and the thing was sitting like that, and it wasn't allowing for this to go in further. I believe at that time David Fiedler, a friend of mine, corrected me and told me that this is how it needs to be, and I agree, that's perfect. So I remember that feed. You see, this time I did it correctly. Well, I've done multiple tops after that, and every time I do it this way. So anyways, it's time to pull out the top now, which is sitting there. We're gonna check it. I'll show you what to check for, because we had an issue with one of the tops that I installed recently, last summer. If there's something like that, you should deal with it before you start installing it. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. But this bowl and this bowl, we're gonna locate them based on the top, and then we're gonna fasten them later. So let me pull this out and I'll show you. All right, so we have the top on the table, and the thing that I wanted to check was this stitch. So you see how it goes around the window, and it looks nice. But the problem with the one that we were installing, it was for a friend, the problem was that this stitch, obviously they did it from above here, and they didn't pay attention, and on the other side, here somewhere, this stitch was going through the zipper. Like literally it was going on the zipper and then coming out again and continuing. But of course this didn't allow the zipper to open and close, and that was a big problem because we already had it halfway installed when we found this out. So I had to literally undo the stitch and do it manually with a needle. I made the stitch go a little bit further out so it doesn't go through the zipper. So we solved the situation there, but that costed us like additional 2 hours, I guess. Anyways, let me check quickly if this zip opens now, if this zipper opens properly. Not easy doing it one-handed. Yeah, perfect. Opens and closes, so we're good. Okay, we're gonna keep it closed. I moved the two, what are these called? Sliders. I moved them up because we need them to be out of the way. And now the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna find the center here. Sometimes from the factory they give you a little notch here to tell you where the center is, but what I recommend is, even if there is a notch, double check it to make sure that your notch is in the middle, because we're gonna line up this notch with the center bolt of the car there, so we have the top centered. That's our baseline. And just to double check it, 17.25. Okay, so now with this, now we have to align this notch with the center of the metal plate that we have there. But before that, we're gonna spray glue inside. All right, so what I'm doing here is, so I masked the part that I don't want glue on, and now we're flipping this lip open. We want it to stay open until the glue dries a little bit. I also masked here a little bit because the lip of the end of the top is seen, so we don't want to spray glue on that. So now we can spray glue here. Okay, we're gonna let it dry, I'm actually forgetting that this lip extends in both ends here and here after the cut that is there, because the metal plate is a little bit longer. So I should have sprayed glue in these two locations as well, but I'm gonna figure it out later. Now we have to spray glue on the metal part as well. Only on this lip here, that's where it glues, so only up to the bend. Now we're gonna have to undo it and spray on the same lip but inside. Alright, so next we're gonna bring the top here, that with the part that we just sprayed glue on here, and now we can put this back on. The thing is, now we might need to open a little bit from the front, or a lot of it, like that, because this needs to go inside here, right? So this is where we have to be careful now. Our notch that we just made for the center, we'll need to match the center bolt, otherwise our top is not going to be centered. And we need to put it all the way in, like the lip, the end of the metal needs to be tucked all the way inside the fold here. So we're gonna do a little bit here, and then we're gonna continue. Now it's sticky, so it's gonna stick, but you have to pull it open and keep pushing it in. That. And now, because the glue dried mostly and it is sticky, it sticks really well. If it doesn't stick, you can heat it up with a heat gun a little bit and it's gonna start sticking again. Like you see here, I have room, so I need to make sure that I unstick it and push it all the way in. That's very important. Okay, we didn't spray glue here. Huh. That needs to be stuck too. Okay. So we're gonna have to do it now. Forgot about this part. So now it's gonna be tricky to spray, but we'll figure it out. We have to wait. Alright, while we're waiting for this glue to dry, let's install this screen cap, it's called. Hopefully the holes are gonna match. Alright, so this is installed. All the holes matched, but somehow this doesn't match. So we will see how it's gonna work here. Doesn't look good, but maybe it's gonna work. I don't know. This one looks better. And I don't understand what the difference is, because doesn't look like the hole is in the wrong location. This distance here is pretty much the same as this, but somehow this inside doesn't match, and this doesn't have any adjustment, so it is where it is. Anyways, now that the glue is dry, let me finish this first and we will see if we can latch it again. Okay. Alright, so now everything is glued here. Now we can open the window, the glass, plastic, whatever you want to call it, because that's going to help us to bolt this back. So we can close this a little bit, not all the way. And now through here we can put the bolts without going inside the car. It's tricky, but it works. Okay, and now we can zip it up again. See if we can latch it now. It won't latch here, so unfortunately we need to make a little dent there. I pushed with the pin down and I shook it a little bit, and because this is aluminum, it made its own groove there. So we might try to shape it a little bit better later, but for now we're gonna leave it like that because we need to finish the top first. Okay, so now we gotta stretch it as far as it can go, and now you see this seam here, that's where our bowl, this bowl, needs to end up, close to this seam. So we can, because it has a lip inside, we're gonna do that later, that fastens to this bowl. So we have to stretch it here as much as we can, and looks like this is a good place for this bowl, and this one as well. We're gonna have to position. Let's do one at a time. Yeah, we're gonna do one at a time. So, okay. Here is good. So, without moving it now, looks like this is where it needs to be. Yeah. Okay, let's fasten it. Alright, so the holes don't match, unfortunately, but in order to have it all the way to the front, we needed to do it this way. So anyways, now we have to line up this one. So again, we're gonna put the top on and we're gonna see exactly where this bowl goes. Yeah, that's good. That's right under here. So it almost matches the old holes. So I'm going to install these and we're done with the straps. Okay, so these are installed too, and now we're done with the straps. So the next job is going to be to mark, or let's see, actually there is a mark here. Let's see where these lines up, because we want to make a mark to where to spray glue, because now the next point is to glue this part to this part here. So I kind of want to know where to spray glue. We don't want to spray glue too far this way, right? Because it's going to be seen. We want to spray glue only around up to here. So let me see where that ends. Okay, when it's nice and tight, this is our lip. So this line there is too far, but yeah, kind of. But when we wrap it around, okay, so like from the line, from this line, another 2 inches, 3 inches is gonna be fine. All right, I ran out of glue, so I had to run to the store. Oh. Okay, this is gun wash, so that's what it's called, what you use to clean your paint guns, and just a little bit on the rag like that, and it cleans it nicely, no problem. It's not bad for the paint, it won't disintegrate anything. Okay, now the header. Did I mention this job is best done with the seats out? Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these here to keep the front header a little bit higher than where it's gonna be. But it's gonna help us to make it tight when it is a little bit up, which means that when it goes down, and it's gonna go down probably another 1/4 inch, then it's gonna become as tight as we want it. Now we have to pull as hard as possible here. And here again we have a notch. I didn't show you that, but we have a notch, and I made sure that this notch is in the center, so that's what needs to line up with the center of the windshield here. So we're pulling as hard as possible, and then we're gonna stick it down. We're gonna pull the corners too, we're gonna pull everywhere. Make sure that your Velcro is not tricking you, because it might stick prematurely here. You want to pull it forward and then stick it. Like that. We're gonna get rid of all the wrinkles. So I'm trying to pull this wrinkle by pulling this corner towards me. Now the glue is sticky, but it's not sticking permanently. I can always undo it a little bit and pull a little bit more, and then do it again. Yeah, when I pull the Velcro, you see, this wrinkle went away. Let's do the same there. Okay. This whole corner needs to come forward. So I'm doing all the Velcro, pulling forward, gluing in the front, and now we can do this with the Velcro, I guess. There you go. I want it a little bit tighter than this though, so I'm gonna raise it up again. I'm gonna take out the blue thing and I'm gonna put it down, and let's see if it is gonna become tighter. If not, we're gonna pull more. Taking these out, and now let's buckle it properly. Okay, that's better. All right, so that's tight enough. We're not gonna tighten it more than that. Okay, that's it. Now, make sure that it sticks well here, the front. Now we're gonna open it, and we're gonna flip the excess material around, and we're gonna glue it down. In this position now, we can finish the rest. Now, we have to glue this all the way to the corner here, this corner. I'm gonna start from the center, push it down. Have to be careful not to make wrinkles here, because they're gonna be in your way later. I don't think I have enough glue here, so I'm gonna spray more. I'm gonna let it dry here, and I'm gonna start cutting from here that way. So we're cutting it to the corner. You need a sharp pair of scissors for here. All right, so here I sprayed more glue and now we can finish it. So there's this ear here. I think it is, not sure if that's how it works, but I think it is, so you can wrap it around like that, glue it down there, and I'm gonna cut most of it anyways. Like that. And we don't need it that far. We basically need only this part here to wrap the frame. I think that's how it is, because I don't think you need more than that. So I'm just gonna cut it like that. And now we can flip this around. And it's just that this part of the frame is wrapped. I think that's what the purpose of that thing is. Alright, let's see what it looks like now when it is closed. And with the lid flipped around. Alright, so now the front seal. Oh my god, that's the worst part. For this front seal, which is the job that I'm not looking forward to, we have to install these rails. So they come pre-bent, luckily, so I'm hoping that they're gonna match. For this though, on my top rivet gun, I had to grind the head or whatever this is called. I had to grind it like that so it fits inside here. You see? Alright, so the rails are installed, all three of them, and now the only way that I have ever found to install the seal is by putting one end in. So it needs to go like that, right? That's the profile. Let me show you. So this is the profile, so that's how it goes, like that. To be honest, there are so many people who told me that they can do it by just sliding it from one end to the other. Well, I'm not really sure that this is possible. I've tried multiple times, honestly. On David Tushingham's Alpha, we actually slid it in, but the rail was much bigger, and believe me, it took 4 hands, and I was pushing on one side, David was pulling on the other side. It was like disaster. But the rail was much bigger than this. Here, I've tried before with lubricant, with everything. I tried to slide it, never ever worked for me. So if you think that you can do it, okay, I'd love to see a video about that, so I learned something. But for now, I'm just gonna go with my old style, where I'm putting one end in like that and just pushing the other end in with a plastic stick. That's the only way for me. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes and one side is on. The problem is here on the corner, like it is, because of the way it is bent, the rail just goes down a little bit here, you know? That's the main problem, always. On the straight part, it's, I shouldn't say easy, but it is easier. So actually here I might show you a little bit of a time lapse maybe, or I don't know. Let me see if I can shoot a closer view, but or maybe when I get to that end, because I'm gonna be able to put the camera there. I should, because now I work with my right hand and you're not gonna see anything from this angle. Basically what I do is I tuck it in one corner, one end, and then the other end, unless I put you inside the car. Let me try. Okay, might be shaky, but I don't know. So one corner is in, not one corner, one lip of the gasket is in, and the other just needs to be pushed in like this, like tucked in. And here it is relatively easy. And then every once in a while you go this. Wow, I did like 2 inches in 30 seconds. I hope I can keep going the same way. Okay. And so on and so forth. All right, it's all in, but believe me, it wasn't easy. So this little part here took me probably 20 minutes. Then the middle part took me probably another 20 minutes because it's straight. And then that part there took me, I don't know, an hour. It was crazy there on the turn, but anyways, I think, like I said, this is the only technique that I was able to make it work. If somebody knows a better technique, please show me a video. Anyways, let's close it and see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks good. So what's next? Well, we have to deal with snap buttons now. So the front end is done, the seals are done, here everything is done. So we have snap buttons here, we have snap buttons all over here. So now we're gonna have to undo it one more time from the bolts here, find where the holes are, because here we need to put male snap buttons for the tonneau cover, which I don't think this car is gonna have, but that's how it is. You have male buttons here, and then here we have 3 females that match these. Well, one is missing, but there's one here, I guess. Yeah, this one is here. One is missing from there, we need to find it, but there's 3 female and a whole bunch of males here. So let's do that. And while we are there, of course, we're gonna pull out the masking tape finally. And then inside here, there's a whole bunch. So here, this is the bow that, like I said, we need to match. And this is the reason why we need to match it, because now here we have to put snap buttons and they're gonna snap here. This one is usually, let me see. This one, they usually actually put rivets directly here, but I don't like it with rivets. I like to have the option to undo it. So we're probably gonna put snap buttons, or should we rivet it? I don't know. We'll see what we're gonna do here, but again, this is the reason why we need to line this bow up with the seam, because we have these pockets here. Anyway, let's get crack-a-lacking with the buttons now. Okay, so we remove the rail now, and here, through the rail, there's a whole bunch of holes. I don't even remember how many, and there's no good way to find them actually now, because the rail is covered both sides with the vinyl, right? So the only way to find them is with a needle. Just go and poke here and there, and that's how I find them. So here is one hole, it goes right through. So we're gonna run an awl through it. Now I don't want to lose my needle. There you go. So here's one side. And now here, so here's what came with the kit. So this is the bottom part for this, the male part, so it goes like this, and then this gets crimped. Wow, these are long. Finally they started making them long. Good, because before they were a little bit too short and they were coming off. And then we're gonna use our what's it called, press and snap tool. So this tool, you can buy cheap versions of this from Amazon for $30-40, but honestly nothing works well. I tried, I have another kit, let me show you. I bought this kit that uses regular vice grips, and it has all kinds of anvils here that are clearly 3D printed, and we installed them for different eyelets and different stuff, but I tried once, nothing worked, like it didn't work well at all. So I don't even remember what I paid. I think I paid like $30 for this, but never worked well. So this goes on the vice grip like this, and you choose different ones. And Alexa, stop. I don't think cheap tools work well, so I bit the bullet and I bought this from a company called JT's Outdoor Fabrics Inc. So it's a Canadian company, and it was like about 200 Canadian dollars, but I guess you're gonna find it somewhere else. By the name, it's called Press and Snap, and it comes with all the dies here that you need. So let me set it up and I'll show you what we're gonna do with it. So for this male part, this is the die. Oops. So this accepts this, okay, and it goes at the bottom here all the way. And then for the other part, have this or this, the flat one, because the one that has the dome is for this part, for the female part later. So this and this will go there, but okay. There's adjustment here, but I think it is adjusted properly. So you put this part here, and then you go and you pinch it, and it works. So here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run the bottom part through in advance, because we have metal inside, right? And it's pretty tricky to do it. So now our other part is here. We're just gonna go and crimp it. Make sure that we line it up. Okay, it's too tight, I'm gonna loosen it. Okay. And voila. Created a nice ring here, you see? So now I'm gonna go and find the other hose. I know there's one in the center. I think there's one here. There you go. Found it. All right, so all 7 are installed here. And now here we have to install the female parts on these 3. So this one was missing, and it was missing before because here is where these aluminum covers come. But the owner told me that he's gonna deal with them. So I just put these there with screws, so you can unscrew them and put them back if you want to. So that's what I did. I put one on each side so I can put my button, and then it's easy to remove them. But I need the button there for my location. So let's switch the press and snap to the female part, and we're gonna do these as well. All right, so now here we start from this one and go towards the front. Of course, we have to pull, make it tight, and we're gonna mark where it goes. So this is where it is, and I'm gonna put a dot with this pencil here. For this one, we don't need to make a hole. This is similar to the male part, except they are different dies. And now we can put we can line this up with our dot. I know you can't see it, but it's hard, and for me as well. And then squeeze, and it makes a hole. I'm just gonna tighten it a little to make sure that it is all the way. Okay. And the same way, it made a little ring there, and now it should click like that. And that's it. Now we can mark the next one. Like right the center we need to mark, right? Like this. There we go. So one side is done. I'm gonna do the other one on my own. And voila, it's all done. So all the snap buttons are done. These ones on this side, it's nice and tight. Well, I have to pull the air a little bit, but those wrinkles come off with, just need to pull a little bit more here on the Velcro, like that, you see. And the wrinkles are out. So yeah, looks good. So even inside here, put these buttons, and here I riveted it as it is original. I even looked at the old top, which the owner brought over there, and even the old top was riveted here. So I didn't put snap buttons. I decided to go as per the original. So this job with this car is done. So I have a few more little jobs to do, but I don't think I'm gonna film them. They are just simple. I need to put the locks, I need to look at the signals are not working, I need to test the overdrive, and there was something else that I'm forgetting. Yeah, I'm forgetting something, but I'll figure it out. Anyways, for this episode, that's gonna be everything. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned from my mistakes. I think this time we had a little bit better angles and showing exactly how everything works. I hope it's gonna help you in your restoration, or at least it's gonna entertain you if you're not up to doing this job. So that's everything for today, guys. Thanks for watching, for commenting, subscribing, sharing, supporting the channel. Visit the Rusty Beauties group on Facebook. You can visit my website, which is www.rustybeauties.com. There's a few little interesting things there. And if you want to support me, there are multiple ways that you can do so. They're in the description below. But in general, you can become a Patreon, or you can send one-time donation to my email address, elin.yakov at rustybeauties.com, or even you can just buy merchandise, which you can find at the bottom of this video as well, and that's also a help financial to me. So once again, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.